Hey everyone, my name is Wedge and welcome back to our second spoiler video of the day. In case you missed the first one, you can watch it, boom, right here, super convenient. There were way too many spoilers today to fit into one video, so we're back to show you the rest of today's Oath of the Gatewatch goodness. Without further ado, let's smash some realities and talk about vampire legends, no big deal. Reality Smasher is 4 of anything and 1 colorless for a 5/5 Eldrazi with Trample and Haste. Whenever it becomes the target of a spell an opponent controls, counter that spell unless its controller discards a card. As a control player, I want to die inside. This directly creates card disadvantage for your opponent, especially if they're forced to use spot removal on it. The best part about being a control player is the ability to easily 1-for-1, sometimes even 1-for-2 or 3. In this situation, it's going to cost you 2 spells to get rid of it, assuming you don't have a sweeper. That's so bothersome. This card is the definition of bothersome. If it hits the table, not cool. It's not cool. Hedron Alignment is 2 of anything and 1 blue for an enchantment with hexproof. You can also pay 2 mana to scry 1. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may reveal your hand. If you do, you win the game if you own a card named Hedron Alignment in exile, in your hand, in your graveyard, and on the battlefield. What am I even looking at? Are you serious? A 3-mana enchantment with hexproof, and as long as you can get them to 4 different zones in the game, you just win? That's awesome. That's hysterical. I would totally try to make this a thing. In Legacy, you can even pitch it to Force of Will. We totally have a deck here. Yeah, gonna start making this just right now. Alternative WinCon incoming. What a crazy day to be alive. Drana's Chosen is 4 mana for a 2/2 Vampire Shaman ally with Cohort. You can tap it and an untapped ally you control to put a 2/2 black zombie token onto the battlefield tapped. Let's get this out of the way right now. This is definitely not Bloodline Keeper, no matter how bad we want it to be. It reminded me of it for a second, but then I got sad because the power level isn't even close at all. Cohort really isn't my favorite mechanic outside of Limited due to how slow it is. Getting a 2/2 every turn isn't a bad thing, but in what's going to be a chaotic standard environment, I don't see it being that good, especially when you aren't even starting your engine until what, turn 4 or 5? Yeah, no thanks there. In Limited, if you can generate zombies frequently, it's a bomb. In Constructed, Inverter of Truth is 2 of anything and 2 black for a 6/6 Eldrazi with Devoid and Flying. When it enters the battlefield, exile all cards from your library face down, then shuffle all cards from your graveyard into your library. Say hello to the body of an Abyssal Persecutor with the mind of a Paradigm Shift. My goodness, this creature is a mess. I don't want to touch an ability like that with a 10-foot pole, but if this is going to see legitimate constructed play, it's going to be after the next set comes out. A set that is assuredly going to be graveyard focused in some way. There will be ways to put a ton of stuff in your yard, and maybe then this will see play. Until that point, no, keep it away. It's too scary for me. Legend time. Kalitas, Traitor of Ghet is 2 of anything and 2 black for a 3/4 legendary creature vampire warrior with lifelink. If a non-token creature an opponent controls would die, instead exile that card and put a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield. You can also pay 3 mana, sacrifice another vampire or zombie, and put 2+1/+1 counters on Kalitas. What a brutal card! Your opponent's creatures die, you get tokens. You use those tokens to feed to Kalitas. What a synergy! There is talk about Kalitas seeing modern play in some type of gender Grixis control strategy. The question then becomes, is this better than Olivia Voldaren or Huntmaster of the Fells? Does an aristocrat strategy want this? Play your Fleshbag Marauders for additional value. They get a zombie and your opponent's creature is exiled. There's a lot going on with this card. It's going somewhere, but where? Besides, obviously, in Commander, Grimgrin, Thraxamunder, Olivia herself, Anowin the Ruined Sage. Yeah, Kalitas will be around a while. Boulder Salvo is 5 mana for a sorcery with Surge costing 2 mana. It deals 4 damage to target creature. Once again, this is not the burn spell we're looking for, and it can't hit players, but 4 damage for 2 mana is decent. It's going to kill a lot of creatures, though not Siege Rhino, as long as you can Surge it. If you can, it's straight up bad. I don't want to come out and say that this is going to see standard play, but the amount of good burn spells we have right now is less than usual. Just saying. Baloth Null is 4 of anything, 1 black and 1 green for a 4/5 zombie beast. When it enters the battlefield, return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. Wow, I love this. Dutiful Return was super but this monster, yes please. It has that magic 5 toughness, which means it survives a ton of stuff. It'll give you great value in the Bone Splinter sacrifice deck that will hopefully be a thing in the upcoming Limited format. Cliffhaven Vampire is 2 of anything, 1 white and 1 black for a 2/4 Vampire Warrior ally with flying. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. I'm telling you, the holy grail of limited decks in BFZ was the black-white ally life gain deck. It was beautiful, a work of art if you could bring it together. This is just another piece for that. Beyond that, a 4-mana 2/4 flyer in and of itself isn't even bad. That's a huge butt for a flyer. You don't often see that much toughness. You can probably bet this is enough to gum up attacks in the air as soon as it lands. I like it. Stupidly powerful uncommon alert. Storm Chaser Mage is 1 blue and 1 red for a 1/3 human wizard with flying, haste, and prowess. Storm Chaser, meet Delver of Secrets. Delver meets Storm Chaser. You're going to be best friends. The best friends. If you're pre-ordering cards, I would pre-order foil versions of this because you can bet high that this is going to see eternal play. We're talking about a beefed up Monastery Swift Spear that flies and has enough toughness to block incoming Delvers with 1 prowess trigger. It's great against Delver, it's great alongside Delver. I'm telling you, I'm warning you. This is going to see play for a long time. This card is stupid, it's crazy strong, just play it. Void Grafter is 1 of anything, 1 green and 1 blue for a 2/4 Eldrazi drone with Devoid and Flash. When it enters the battlefield, another target creature you control gains hexproof until end of turn. I love this card a lot. A 2/4 for 3 is already something I want a lot of. Past that, this is essentially a protection spell for a creature, granting hexproof at instant speed. Even without that, a flash blocker with 2 power and 4 toughness, certainly not what your opponent had in mind. I like it a lot. Weapons Trainer is 1 red and 1 white for a 3/2 human soldier ally. Other creatures you control get +1/+0 as long as you control an equipment. Alright, beyond the obvious inclusion in Jor-Kadeen, this trainer is alright in an ally deck assuming the equipment this time around is a bit better than BFZ. Red and white are the 2 colors allies are being forced into, so who knows. Maybe we'll see more awesome equipment and this will be a legitimately good pseudo-anthem effect. And we're done. What do you think about all the cards released today? Are you more excited for the set now that we've seen a few more bombs? Gotta say, Eldrazi are looking crazy strong for Standard, even though they might lose the conflict. I don't know, something's going on. Either way, let me know your thoughts in the comments. As always, subscribe for the latest and most reliable Oath of the Gatewatch spoiler information you could ever need. This is the Manosaurus, I'm Wedge. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.